Hello, and welcome back to the Elemental I Ching. So today we're going to drink in GK19, hexagram 19, which in the I Ching is the approach of spring. I can even feel it here in the Pacific Northwest here in Portland, because we're still in, of course, February, and it's cold, but today I can feel that spring, new energy that's just bubbling underneath the surface. And in the I Ching, that's exactly what this hexagram is it's the fertile earth, the yielding feminine, the fertile earth, above the bubbling, joyous lake, that natural joy hidden beneath the surface of this deep, dark earth. And the Jinkies, it moves from the shadow of codependency to sensitivity, to sacrifice, to that holy, sacred offering of our body into this world, of our love. And I ask for permission to talk about some edgy concepts, about relationship. I've been working with several clients and different friends and dear people in my life, and just looking at the qualities of the masculine and feminine in relationship, and where are those wound patterns, and where do we get all enmeshed in that, right? Codependency is this enmeshed ball of I need you to fill my holes, I need you to feed me, I want. It's the dislocation that we experience when we are dissatisfied with what is occurring. We lose ourselves. I lose myself in that moment of codependent reaction, of dissatisfaction with what's going on, and I need you to do something different for me to feel safe. And I lose myself. I lose my own sovereignty in that experience. I give my power away. This is the dance between sovereignty and intimacy, right? Because there is this sacrifice, there is this holy compromise that we can have with our lovers, with our friends, with our family, to create peace, to create harmony, to remember ourselves, become members of this human family again. The shadow of the program partner is forgetting. We forget ourselves in those moments of codependent reaction. We're either needy, I need it to be this way, and I need my attention, and I need my fuel, even sometimes by creating bad drama or conflicted behavior just to stir things up so people look at me again, so that people give me what I need, which is never satisfying. If we have to ask that way from our partner, from life, it's never as satisfying as that moment when we relax into the stillness and receive from that fertile earth. We orient ourselves to the natural vitality of that joyous lake bubbling up from within our own sovereign vessel. We acknowledge what it is that our vessel, the intelligence of our body, the physiology is the body hair, how we're listening through every molecule of change in the environment. We're receiving all of this sensation. And we have to listen and dive deep and discover what is it that I truly value, that I hold dear in my life. Because in a relationship, I look for, instead of what I need from my partner, I look at what do I value in a relationship. And then I have to let go the expectations, the way that's going to play itself out, what the other person is going through, because there's this parallel path with me and this partner. But as soon as I forget my values and I compromise myself into those codependent patterns, I'll just let go. Even though I feel a no in my body, I'm going to do this anyway because I'm afraid of what's going to happen if I say no to you. I'm afraid of what's going to happen if you leave me because I need to find my space. I'm afraid of speaking my truth because it triggers you, and then we get stuck in this enmeshed thing. I forget my center. In those experiences, I'm dislocated and I'm feeling the murky swamp of, this isn't good. What I'm feeling right now does not feel good. So it's about receiving that yen, that yielding, receiving life, receiving the sensations of life, and awakening that natural happiness, that sovereign bubble of truth within us. Because in order to be truly interdependent, divine reciprocity, aini, the sacred reciprocity of life, this torus of the trees that give their leaves back to the soil so that it can become the fertile ground for new life to grow from. That's the sacrifice that's really talked about in this key, the sacred offering, that bliss, that unified bliss, where I am not a separate body, but I am actually a part of this woven organism of love unfolding. And so when I'm enmeshed in a codependent pattern, how can I respond from that holy sacrifice of my body just to take gratitude to the fact that I can walk, that I can breathe, that I can cook my own food, that I can rise to the occasion of life, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's not my preference. It's from that independence that I am a sovereign being with my own connection to spirit, with my own connection to reality. And I don't have to disperse and project all of my needs onto someone else or something else to take care of me. That healthy rising and maturing into that independence. And that's where we get to learn sensitivity, the gift. Listening to the trees, to the plants, to nature, to see the visions, to smell the colors, to hear the sensations of life and recognize where is my peace? How can I receive and yield into my peace right now in this moment? How can I slow down my cadence? What is it that I really need? And let's start to unpeel the stories of what I think I need the other person to say, do, create safety for me. How can I be safe right now? Even when external situations are quote unquote forcing me to change, because everyone has that kind of decision to be responsible for their life, and that impacts others, right? We are interdependent. We are woven together. But where do I subtly create a victim story that person is doing something to me and I have to react to that? Life is showing me the next opportunity and I can respond. I can receive spirit. I can receive life and respond from the natural vitality, receiving elation. That's what sensitivity gets to be. I don't have to be a victim as an empath to feeling everyone else's stuff. No, it's an amazing gift to know what's mine, to know what my emotions are. Wow, I'm triggered at that. I'm judgmental about that. I'm feeling nauseous. I'm feeling scared. What are my values? Actually, I believe, one of my core values is that every shadow contains a gift. My core value is that I can love greater than I fear. One of my core aspirations is to be in harmony in my body, with my surroundings, and with other human beings as we all do our best. So now I can start to peel away the stories of like, wow, I've created this unconscious projection about betrayal with this dear brother of mine. Why am I interwoven into that pain? Why am I giving away my power to something that on the surface doesn't even matter in the grand scheme of things? We're all learning, we're all growing, we're all learning to receive and shine out our genius, our profound truth. And that's why the sacrifice, to give, to sacrifice what I think I want into the grand symphony of my body as a vessel for the beauty of life to flow through, for this unified bliss to occur. And I have to let go of what I think I want and open to the grandest service, to, as we say in our work, me and my dear friend, we're playing the long game. We're going for the long, sustainable, lasting truth. To that incredible stillness of gratitude and appreciation, to just witness beauty unfolding through all the storms of sensation. But just noticing in my relationships, where am I enmeshed? Where do I get lost and forget myself in these surface personality-based things that are they're just detoxing themselves by my own dedication to be, to listen, to receive life. Sometimes I'm wrong. And it's not a compromise to admit, to apologize. I heard this great new definition of apology is to recognize an upset. It's not about right or wrong. It's just like, wow, Maybe I did respond from some anger or some rashness. Or maybe I hear you, that this was not comfortable, that this hit a really deep edge for you. How can we just come back into some stillness instead of playing out this constant codependent thing? Or worse, isolate and just say, well, I don't need anyone, right? There's always these extremes of either I'm too submissive, I'm too needy, I'm all enmeshed, or I scream my isolation out to the world. I am independent. I don't need any of you. I do this all the time. I just lock up. This is my, 33, the programming partner is my attractor field, so I'm deeply woven into this in my relationships, right? So mindfulness and sensitivity bring us back into this relationship of the stillness and appreciation to allow life's vitality to inform us. And then we can really heal ourselves and each other, because now I can really hear you. I'm going to really give the space and time to hear where that pain is that we've uncovered in this relationship. You know, in healthy masculine, I don't need to compromise my values. Don't need to be walked on, don't need to be taken advantage of, but I also don't need to feed suspicion and doubt and this over-projected idea of the other person is causing me pain. You know, and the final story of this key, I was really appreciating rereading this key by Richard Rudd and just seeing the story that we've created about God, about food. You know, we're codependent for food, for breath, for God, for these external sources. We've in some parts of our history, we anthropomorphized nature because it was our necessary savior. We need nature to bring us nourishment and food. And I was researching about you know, in concentration camps and in periods of intense starvation for people, men and women, they'll lactate this prolactin, this other type of liquid from their breasts, that we can actually sate each other's thirst, even in the most extreme circumstances of the world taking away your freedom to feed. There are these miracles of the human vessel to take care of one another, that we can sate each other's thirst. It's a powerful, you know, concept that sovereignty exists, that we can be whole and complete in connection with nature, in connection with life, in connection to this great organism that we are. And we have the ability to be in service, to be in loving, giving, reciprocal nature with our fellow human beings and animals and plants. You know, we've gotten so lost, dislocated. We've paved over nature. We've used the genius of our mind and our technology to beat out nature. You know, and so where have we lost connection to that sensitivity to listen to the reciprocity of life? Did this great prayer on the lunar eclipse a few days ago in this key, and dear sister Rebecca Water-Eye, she did a show, and she made this altar of plastic bags that we projected my mandalas on, and it was bringing recognition to her consumptive patterns in life. And she has this concept of there is no away. You can't throw that away. There is no away. It's here. We're all stuck on the same beautiful emerald rock in the middle of space. It's here. Nothing can be created nor destroyed. Only changes form, right? These are the principles of our science-based reality. And yet we put, if it's out of my sight, it's out of my mind, and thus I don't have to care about it. And sensitivity, a lot of people, especially women in my life, are very sensitive to the fact that Mother Earth is getting hurt, raped, pillaged, you know, wasted upon, vomited upon, purged upon, without any care or recognition of what it is that we're doing. I met an amazing Christian pastor this past weekend on some tribal land who is dedicated to guiding his congregation and offering his love and support to the congregation and to life, to recognize that global warming and climate change is a very real thing, and that we need to be great garden stewards, as the good Lord says, just to witness all these different synthesis of people whose heart is oriented to that unity, to that love, to that bliss of creation, and to become mindful, sensitive stewards of our life, stewards of our relationships, stewards of this relationship with planet Earth, stewards of our relationship with our highest soul and the benefit of all beings, the love and compassion for all beings. That's the sacrifice we take by doing this human journey thing. Every step gets to be another offering to that collective love. It doesn't have to be an enmeshed, confusing, amorphous blob. And we don't have to be afraid of the annihilation of the divine feminine, of coming back home into the unity of the heart. So let's be mindful of our betrayal codes, of our fears, and our stories of each other. This is sensitive. There's a lot of experiences, and I'm devoted to the feminine essence, reclaiming its safety in our culture, and consent culture, and in the temple of the body, both feminine and masculine. But because of a long time of masculine abuse, we have a lot of work to do. I, as a man, have had to do a lot of inner work, a lot of deep forgiveness for myself and for all of the masculine. There's a lot to clean up. And I don't want to forget myself in that process. I want to become, as Richard calls this key as the future of the new human being, something like that. I want to come into that new initiation where we are actually in harmony, masculine and feminine, within ourselves and thus in relationship. So it takes time to unravel the enmeshment, sticky, dislocating, that murky swamp, and into that mindfulness and sensitivity, to be oriented by the vitality of life, to restrain those impulses until a fresh moment occurs. Mindfulness, the freshness through our restraint, and sensitivity, that receiving, that orientation of life through our vitality, through that lake. Masculine and feminine, constantly coming back home into balance. It's my prayer for us all. It's my prayer for myself. Let's do better. And so the prayer with the plastic bags came to this place of I have been conditioned through my own choices and through choices of others before me to consume at a rate that is comfortable for me, to consume and order things and get things in plastic bags and do all this stuff and then put them in another container that goes away, that some truck takes away. And I have to start facing the responsibility of there is no away, and those piles are no longer, even from America, there's no away anymore, right? China's not buying our trash anymore. We have to start taking responsibility for all of this junk that we've accumulated through our choices. But it's not hopeless. We can rearrange the molecules of this junk back into its highest opportunities. We have the genius, we have the technology, and we're gaining the technology to do that on a physical level, but we have to acknowledge the inner technology to stop just letting this junk, this murky junk of our life just stagnate and sit there without our mindful awareness, the bringing the attention, that masculinity or light of awareness into that, and trusting in this feminine infinite wisdom that is guiding us to a symphony far beyond what we can control. It's not to be apathetic. It's not to bypass. It's not to, I choose to make those choices in my daily consumptive patterns. I choose to make those choices in my daily relationship patterns. I choose to do that inner work, to the evolutionary urge to choose love in the face of non-love, to choose harmony in the face of confusion and turbulence, to choose peace. And I receive that involution of grace, that beauty of life teaching me. Many blessings. May this approach bring you a beautiful, bountiful year. And we'll tune in soon as we move into the fire. Giving great gratitude to the cycle of the lake, the joyous lake in our body, these last 8 keys of the lake in the Bagua. Finding that natural vitality, happiness, joy, bubbling in our bellies. the stillness of the mind, the serenity to witness all of life naturally, lovingly, authentically, elating itself. Many blessings.